And now he had the time to build those Lings. He got his Queens in position, and Bjorn can't do anything with that drop. Was like wanted to reinforce it, but look, he can't.
Yeah, he has
and
to
Lynx
stay at
he will just save them and bring them back. There's no way to kill these.
Disposable. It's like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna lose 8 Lings. You know, who really cares? You're buying yourself so much else in terms of value, and just everything you were saying there. He's got his 3rd base up, and I suppose he's gonna take the 4th base, close to Bjorn because the other one is crazy. We don't generally see games get too long, and force Zergs to go over to the left side of the map if they want to continue expanding. But Darky's been showing, that he wants to go into those kind of super late game style games here. But this time he's going to mix it up a bit. He's going to go Ling Queen with the Baneling Nest coming down here.
Nice burst on that Queen. No Banes here yet. And the Queen's, of course, here to target the Metamax. But if you burst them down like that, the DPS is just unreal. This is a good drop location, obviously, as the Korean college is playing out. He's not going for it yet. We'll shut this double drop down. Probably won't see any more for the rest of this game. I wanted to point out earlier that Burrow was made and then canceled very early on. I think he just knew that without the Baneling Nest ready, this wasn't going to get much value, but now he's going for it again. It's not ready right now, but this again can get massive value. And these are the little things in StarCraft. The burrowed Banelings are there. You might get a lucky Baneling blow up where you kill 20, but you didn't get the burrow for that. You got the burrow because the first time that happens or he realizes it's happening, he has to scan more, he can't move. He has to be much more careful with his movements. That's what this burrow really accomplishes. The money hits, if it happens, but that's not what this is designed to do. Here comes a huge push.
There are so many Marines in this ball, and there's only 2 Banelings without speed.
And Burrow isn't done either, so he can't hope for those desperation burrows I was talking about to save him. This is a scary, terrifying Terran push. And, I mean, these positions are really good for this. He's cleared up so much creep already. Coming from this good angle here, once again on the high ground, targets that Baneling down very well. Targets all of them down.
The huge targets, and even though there's so many Queens over here, getting a really nice trade.
He targets the Banes again. He is just on a Baneling target fire here, man. He's on a shooting range. That's game, I think.
That's going to be it. He loses everything. Bjorn, he's going to get out of the group in first place.
There you go, GG, Bjorn, he does it. The Baneling snipes that win the game. Such incredible play there. That is how you do it. Yeah, he's so happy.
Yes. There it is, the fist pump. He goes off to the round of 8, and he's going to be facing Ryung there. So that's going to be a very fun TVT to watch. There it is again, jumping up and down. Man, this guy deserves every win he gets. The amount of practice that came into this series.
He beat Dark and SOS to get out of his group in first place, and now he will face Ryung in a Terran versus Terran in the round of 8, or sorry, the round of 8. We got 2 Starlings, I get confused. And I cannot wait to see what Bjorn has to say. A crowd has gathered around the interview session as well.
We're going to listen to story time here with Bjorn. I love his interviews because he just offers so much. Can't wait to see what he is going to say exactly. You can see everybody's looking if they're not standing. And the majority of the studio is now up and standing, trying to get a picture, trying to crowd around, hear what he has to say. Let's jump into that interview now with our first place player of Group B, Bjorn.
8강 진출자 변현우 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
After an epic match, you are the first player to advance as he begins to strip in front of the crowd.
정말 멋졌어요. 정말 최고네요, 변현우 선수. 손 괜찮아요?
네, 오늘은 좀 괜찮아요.
Performed really well.
네. 일단 소감
Your
어떠세요?
micro was on point.
마지막 경기가
How do you feel?
제가 딱 이상적으로 생각하는 그런 장면이 나와가지고
네.
진짜 여태까지 게임 했던 거 게임을
The
인생
last
중에 제일
set
오늘
went
진짜
exactly
제일 좋은 것 같아요.
according to
오늘
plan.
정말
It's
카타르시스
exactly what I want to happen.
해주는 경기들
This
많이
is,
하신 것
again, the
같아요.
happiest
마지막에
day
말씀하신
of
대로
his pro gaming career. He said that before, but this one trumps the
그냥
last.
정말 이거 어떻게 이렇게 하는지.
좀 오늘은 좀 잘했어요. 제가 봐도
네.
잘하긴 했는데 근데
I think I did
박명호
pretty well today.
선수가 마지막에 약간 방심하신
Very
것
satisfied about my
같아가지고
performance.
근데 원래 막는 사이즈인데
네.
I think Dark made a couple of mistakes in the very end there.
컨트롤이 정말 환상적이었죠.
그쵸,
I was able to snipe the Banelings one by one.
완벽하게 테란이 컨트롤하면
네.
경기 이게 테란이 저그는 테란이 이길 수 없죠. 이렇게 완벽하게 하면.
네.
근데 항상 이렇게 완벽하게 하지 못하니까
네.
밸런스가 이렇게
The
맞는 것
Terran
같아요.
just micros like this. It's very hard for Zergs to defeat
독특한
the
결론이네요.
Terran
근데
players.
어쨌든 오늘 정말 역대급 승자전인 것 같아요. 오늘 1세트 사실 패배가 굉장히 타격이 컸을 것 같거든요.
First set you
경기도
lost.
명경기였는데
The first
제가
match.
진짜 절대
You
질 수
lost to
없다
Dark.
이렇게 생각하고 했는데
네.
What did you think
제가
about that
이게
epic
오프라인
game?
경기 하다 보면
네.
유불리를 잘 이렇게 판단을 못하는 것 같아요.
네.
확실히 유리한 것
Thought I had a good
같았었는데
chance to win actually.
온라인이었으면 빨리
But I
가서
feel like
끝냈을
I
텐데
was
너무
a
시간
bit
주다가
nervous
그래도
because it's an
박영호 선수가
offline
너무
match.
잘하시더라고요.
네.
그것도 있고
I couldn't really tell who had the
선수 경기를
advantage in
봤는데
that
네.
game.
이거 뭐 어떻게 해야 이길 수 있을까 나 그런 마인드 때문에 아마
I saw
지고
Dark
들어가서
play
그런 것
against
같아요.
Pure.
네, 오늘 사실 경기
I
전까지
knew that
박용호 선수와
Dark is very strong against
없었거든요.
네,
Terrence.
그렇죠. 네.
확실히 그 상대
Couldn't
어떻던가요?
find
느낌이?
that many solutions to beat
근데
Dark.
네, 그렇죠.
인정하는
확실히 근데 이게 의미가
네.
없는 게 제가 스타리그에서는 강민수 선수한테 졌어요. 근데
네.
저는 강민수 선수보다 박용호 선수가 한 단계 더
Saw that you
있다고
lost to
생각하기
Solar.
때문에
네.
혹시 저그 중에는 가장
I
최고이지
think
않나
Dark is an
생각해요.
even
아,
better
이렇게
serve
또
player than
강수
Solar.
선수에게 의문의 1패를 또 추가해 주시는.
It's a very
근데
difficult
저는
match for me
박용호
today.
선수 군단의 심장부터
네.
막 리그 없다고 막 놀리고 그랬잖아요. 그렇게 놀린
네.
대상이었는데 전 그때도 박용호 선수가 저그 중에 최고라고 생각했어요.
네. 정말 1경기 승리는 저희도
Since Heart of the Swarm, I thought that Dark
당연히 그랬을 거예요.
has
굉장한
become a better player, in
난조였거든요.
fact.
그러니까 1차전이
I think he
계속
is
뚫으려는 변현우 선수를
the-
마법 유닛으로
he's actually saying that
굉장히
he's the
잘
best
막은
Zerg since the
박명호
second
선수가
expansion.
있었다면
Yeah, like ever
2차전에는
since Heart of the Swarm,
너가
he's
이기냐
thought of him
딴돌
as the
내
best
딴돌이 이기냐
Zerg
이렇게
player.
나왔던 박명호 선수였거든요.
네.
Not
그
even just
경기를
recently, like
승리를
for a
확정줄
long
수
time.
있었던 그 원동력을 찾자면 어떤 게 있었을까요?
몇 경기?
이 경기 그래서 패배했죠.
Tell us about the win on the
제가
second
이렇게
set.
흥분해가지고 좀 방심을 한 것 같다 말씀하셨는데 오히려 그 뒤에
네,
머릿속에 복잡하셨을 것 같은데
네. 그래서 이 경기에서 좀 위축되고 시작했는데 박용호 선수가
그렇죠.
그러니까 날카로운 빌드 시전을 해가지고 제가 원래 못 막는 그런
In the second
사이즈였는데
set, I wanted to start off with a very safe build.
오늘 수비가 저는 3경기보다 2경기를 더 점수를 주고 싶어요. 아무것도 모르는 상태였는데 그렇게 완벽하게 막았다는 것 자체가
My defense was really on point on the second set. I lose to that attack actually a lot in
사실 오늘은
practice, but I was able
너무나
to defend
이
it here.
피지컬에서 그동안의
Hang on.
노력과 준비의 이 결실이 느껴졌기 때문에
네.
정말 대단하단 말이 절로 나오는 것 같아요. 오늘 김유진 선수와도 경기를 했었잖아요.
그렇죠. 김유진 선수랑은 그러니까
Playing against
저번에
SOS today as
IEM
well.
타이페이에서 제가 준우승했거든요. 김유진 선수한테 밀려서.
네.
Played against him in
오늘
IEM
이기면
Taipei.
복수,
I lost to him and I was the runner-up.
상대 전적도 거기서 좀 뭔 말이지 이게?
So I wanted to get my revenge today.
그래서 복수해서 너무 좋아요.
우리 둘 다 조금 침착해져야 할
So
것
I'm very
같아요.
happy about the revenge.
사실 그 김유진 선수와의도 그 명장면이 있었습니다. 김유진 선수가 정말
I think I
1경기에서
네.
almost tied him in the record against him, perhaps their head-to-head record.
이걸로
So he's very happy
사고로
about that.
마지막에 정말 극심한 피해를 받은 직후에 들어가셨어요, 역습을.
그렇죠. 원래 피해를 안 받아야 되는데
네.
근데 확실히 김유진 선수는 다르더라고요. 이게
네.
날카로움이 이게 그러니까 저는 김유진 선수랑 상대하는 선수마다 이렇게 막을 수 있는데 왜 못 막지 생각했는데 오늘 좀
The
느꼈어요.
attack timing from SOS was very sharp.
들어가겠다.
He lost a lot of units in that attack.
그 순간들 조금만
But
기다려주세요.
he decided to attack right after the defense, and that worked out
태도가
for me.
앞에서 막 그림자로
네.
그러니까 있길래 왜 안 빼지 생각했는데
네.
근데 가도 전 병력 있을 줄 알았는데 별로 없더라고요. 너무 이게 배를 불리신 게 아닌가 생각해요 저는.
그렇군요.
When I
정말
decided to
이렇게
attack, I expected more units from him.
하지 않을 뭐라는
But
거죠.
I think he was being a bit greedy at that moment.
네, 정말 멋진 경기였어요.
네, 아유 감사합니다. 아유.
네. 사실 오늘 경기를 앞두고 마음을 비우고 왔다 이렇게 말씀을 하셨거든요.
근데 저는 오늘 경기마가 아니라 저는 항상 마음을 비우고 와요. 오늘
So you said you
타락하겠지,
emptied
타락하겠지
your
하고
minds
이렇게
before
오는데
coming to the
네.
studio,
무엇보다 너무 기쁜 게 진짜
expecting yourself to get eliminated
1위
today, in
진출해서
fact.
이제 막차를 탈 수 있다는 게 너무 집에 갈 수 있다는 게 너무 좋아요.
네.
But
오늘
I was very
시대도
happy that I
빠르게
was able to
기다려도
advance in
또
first
1위
place. I get to
진출
take the subway
정말
home.
높은 목표
I don't have to
저는
stay here.
설정도 괜찮을 것 같아요.
That's very
근데
satisfying to
1위
me.
진출하면 김동원 선수랑
Probably,
만나잖아요.
you
저는
know,
네.
the fact that he gets to play Ryung too.
김준호 선수랑
And,
만나기
you know,
let's play against Ryung in the round of 8.
테란전 연습하면
I wanted to play against Hero more. When I practice TVT, I always practice with Ryung, so we know each other very well. Very friendly. I'm still confident against him, but I'm going to have to practice very hard, prepare for that match.
보는 저희는 재밌을 것 같습니다. 자, 이제 남은 8강 각오를 끝으로 들어볼게요.
Any final
저
comments?
이제 오프라인 경기가 슬슬 적응돼가는 것 같은데 이제 저는 다른 모든 프로 게이머, 그러니까 다른 게이머들이랑 같이
Getting more used to playing offline matches.
그래서 이 기회를 놓치지
He
않고
thinks he's
더
going to
열심히
improve
해가지고
and get better and better as he plays more and more matches.
결승까지 꼭 가도록
He's going to
노력하겠습니다.
try to grasp
감사합니다.
this opportunity and make the best of it
아, 네.
and advance as
자.
far as I can.
인사도 안
Then he
받으시고
leaves Yuri all alone.
선수인데요.
So there
이렇게
you go.
오늘
That's
Amazing, amazing plays. He gets out of the group in first place. So hype. I'm so happy for the guy. He's been playing since before I even moved to Korea. He played at the very
Yeah.
beginning, longer than anyone else in
crazy.
this group. Impressed by his play tonight. Even like almost a little bit starstruck myself.
Yeah.
You know, watching this. So.
I love how he was like, yeah, that worked out exactly the way I wanted it in game number 3. He's like, no, I just went over there and just killed him basically. Dark was just not ready for it. He's saying that he was even a bit greedy in that game. But guys, that's going to do it for the winners match. We are going to take a quick, short commercial break here before we get into the losers match, Cure versus SOS. So stay tuned.
책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
여름 휴가 Everyday 냠냠냠냠 유기요.
대결의 룰을 아십니까? 승리한 자는 패배한 자의 트로피를 뺏습니다. 그리고 그의 자존심까지도. 클래시 로얄.
인형이 너의 슬픔을 씻어줄 것이다. RPG의 검은 획을 긋다. 크라이. 하계 스포츠 대회 오신 것을 환영합니다.
내 뒤에서 먼지나 먹으시지.
기분 째지는데?
질서와 수호를 위해서라면
마귀 화염이
누구도 나를 막을 순 없어. 방해하겠다면 전부 부숴주지.
나는 KT 기가 인터넷. 당신과 끊김없이 게임을 즐기죠. 어디서나 우린 함께해요. 어때요? 나랑 콜라보 하실래요? 당신의 KT.
친구끼린 역시 배달통. 배달의 힘 배달통.
중요한 것은 언제나 안개에 쌓여 있다. 그저 나아갈 뿐.
메이플 스토리 2 신규 직업 소울 바인더.
오호, 물로 지금 거의 뭐 수분을 그냥 갖다 들이붓는 것 같아요. 자, 바른 쪽과 안 바른 쪽입니다. 차에 보여드릴게요. 내가 발라봤는데 개편. 앞으로 그냥 나도 찍어 발라야 될 것 같아요. 잘 봐요. 자, 이렇게 깔끔하게 아래쪽만 다듬어도 선이 딱 살아있잖아요. 선 라인 자체가. 잠깐만. 이런 느낌이구나. 허허. 오늘 여러 가지 제품들 올리브영에서 제가 지금 제품을 받아서 사용을 해봤는데 굉장히 좋은 것 같아요. 올리브영 제품이 짱인 것 같습니다. 고맙습니다.
기가 IoT 헬스. 올레 TV 켜고 퍼팅하고 바이크 타고 체지방 체크까지 실감나게 재밌다. 기가 IoT 헬스. 김지원의 KT.
How you star? Everyday 냠냠냠냠 요기요.
네, 아프리카 TV와 함께하는 킹덤 스토리 연애의 신.
이거 사극을 찍는 것 같아요.
정말 안 어울립니다. 약간 왜소하고.
맞아요. 위초고 3국 대결.
장비! 나이스!
나 심쿵했어.
17,800원. 와, 군주는 무릎을 꿇을 수 있어요. 아, 뭐야 이거 어떻게 먹은 건데? 저에게는 간호 장비 같은 존재입니다. 진짜 유익한 게임이니까 여러분들 진짜로 많이 해보셨으면 좋겠습니다.
답답할 때 마셔봐요 트로피카나. 상큼상큼 과일 듬뿍 스파클링. 리얼 프루트를 스파클링으로 과즙이 톡톡 쏜다. 트로피카나 스파클링.
스타일? 상쾌하면 되는 거야. 상쾌함의 높이가 다르다.
Stylish sparkling water. 롯데 트레비.
메신저 혁신입니다. 이런 실시간 라이브 움짤 기능은 지금 스노우웹에서밖에 없죠. 굉장히 많은 팬분들이 영상 메시지와 메신저를 보내주고 계십니다. 아프리카 원탑 역캠답게 이설이라고 메시지가 왔는데 길 가다 만나지 마라. 길 가다 만나지 마라고. 느낌 있죠? 리본 하나 찬 다음에 딸랑딸랑 고양이 섹시합니다. 외쳐 스노우. 라마.
미소가 생기다. 화사함이 생기다. 건강한 하루가 생기다. pH 8.0과 풍부한 미네랄로 핑크빛 생기가 생기다. 아이시스 8.0. 이제 모두 핑크하세요.
Welcome back, guys. We are going to go into a quick replay, actually, of the last game here that did decide the winner. That was Beyond. Let's take a look.
Remind everybody, look at this target firing. This is in slow motion, by the way. Now it's put up to normal speed, but watch this target fire. Okay, we go back into slow motion, targeting them down one by one. Shift click, right clicking on these banelings. And you see that in between the moment where he killed that first baneling, was not shift queued to kill the second. He was firing on the queens, then retargeted to kill the banelings, and that happened several times, and that was the ending winning moment there. And we actually don't even normally have replay recaps like that, but that game was, that micro was so incredible that we had to show it.
We had to, and I'm glad we got to see it once again there. Guys, we did have our first winner, but now we do need to decide our first loser, and it's going to be one of these Jin Air players, SOS or Cure, the unfortunate team kill coming through.
Yep. For Jin Air, who has once again proven that they are currently the best team in StarCraft 2, one of their players will have to go home here. And for SOS, I've said it once before, but I'm going to say it again, he must get to the finals of this tournament in order to qualify for BlizzCon. It's his only chance. It's the only way. In order to do so, he has to eliminate his teammate Cure from the group. One of the big favorites in this one as well. So it's the same matchup that SOS got dominated in before, but I think Bjorn almost blind countered his style in that series. What I'm hoping for is that we see SOS trying to play more macro-oriented games here against Cure.
Yeah.
The problem is that, you know, normally in team kills you see the weirdest things. He already showed some weird strategies. How much more can he show?
Maybe he will, you know, maybe he picks Frozen Temple here after denying King Sejong Station and Rockshire. And maybe he's just going to do another crazy timing or some kind of proxy It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, this is SOS coming out here. It's very hard to really predict what kind of build he's going to do. You always just kind of know that it's going to be something different from the standard Protoss play.
Very true. And, you know, a really cool map for a start. I hope that this ends up being a great game. Cure could even go for potentially one of those Cyclone pushes. Anything could happen, guys, in this first set on Frozen Temple here at the round 16 Group B losers match.
Down here in the bottom right, in the blue, the Protoss player, he is
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
$, oh $, one of the top earners in StarCraft 2.
Still looks a little bit unhappy. Never a fun time to play in the losers match.
No, definitely not, especially not against your teammate.
Jin Air Green Wings, Pure.
The production didn't take any time away from you, so I had to take a little bit there.
That's okay. I'm always loving to do that second Terran intro really fast. Just like I introduced into that game really, really fast. I don't know if I ever talked that fast in my life, but I did it there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the guy who reads the fine print on the radio commercial. You know.
Yeah, that's insane. You could do it, though. I think you're getting close.
I'm getting
after
close.
That intro.
It's like, the Belt in Canada. So, I mean, we talk about this all the time when we do cast team kills. It's an unfortunate situation, but it happens sometimes. Sometimes it can be a great situation. You have a team kill final, for example. Both players actually made it all the way to the grand finals. But because these players practice together so often, not before this group, but because they practice together so often, they know each other's styles so well that sometimes they'll try to trip each other up. The problem for SOS doing this, as he's already tried basically 3 different ways to trip up Beyond, and actually all 3 failed. He did win the second game off of, you know, just really good play overall after his build failed. But in general, he kind of got shut down in every way, every different type of build he used. In the third game, trying to go for that Warp Prism play versus the Cyclone, just didn't work out. So I think now is the time to kind of slow it down here, maybe even this first game. We'll see what he has planned. I mean, this is his map choice. But, oh, well, never mind. He's not slowing down.
I mean, he doesn't build the pylon, though. It's pretty late. If he is going to put down a proxy, it is going to be a little bit later than normal. And that's sometimes what you see with Oracle builds. You know, Kira goes for the Reaper, and he scouts the entire base. And now he's even here at the front. And he may expect some kind of weirdness out of SOS, but if you can mix up the timing of it, that makes it even that much weirder. Makes it harder for the Terran to respond to it.
I get the feeling that this is going to be DTs if he goes for the proxy. Looks like it's not actually going to happen.
Just a late scout here.
And the robotics goes up. It is the late scout you mentioned. The Mothership Core is coming across. That's why this bunker is here. You can still try to pile on the bottom of the ramp on the right side. I think it might just barely be in range of the reactor. I've never tried to do this on this map, so I don't really know, but just going to let it go, send the Mothership Core home. That was clearly the idea with the probe, was to hide that, to cannon, to, you know, photon the natural, but Cure had the response. He already showed this in the previous series. What does Cure do? He makes a bunker because he knows it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, boom, there you go. It's that simple. And that's one of the weaknesses of showing different types of sneaky type all-in plays like this, is you get punished blind like this.
Very true. And now he was a bit blind before of the base, but now he's going to see actually every single tech building and building that there is to see in the main.
I like this third base. It's going to take him a while to land it with the blink that's coming up here. Obviously, the blink is going to allow him to pressure while he takes his own safe third, but because he gets this so early, he will be pretty good against this. The trade-off is that he doesn't have an aggressive drop, you know, with a Widow Mine and some Marines. But he also, as a result, has a faster stim, so he can put on a little bit more hard pressure on the ground when that finishes. He's going over there. After you see the talking out, so he knows, okay, this is blink into a third. I already know. Because otherwise there'd be more gateways. I know it's not Glaives, and even if it is, I can try to slow that push down too. He's coming across. He wants to hit this third base. This timing is brilliant. It's going to be just before Sim. It looks like, I mean, just before. But if he makes this cancel, there's no pylon over here. This could be an amazing pickoff.
He might even wait. He's just chilling over there. He's really just waiting for that upgrade, I think. He could have moved in already.
Sees that observer too. Ooh, this observer is right en route for this. This is such a great path. He's looking for either the drop or the army. Now he sees that there's a third CC. He's looking for the army. And he can get his stalkers on the position. The pylon that's being made right now is so important. And this is no longer a Nexus snipe potential. Not going to happen. Scans
he waited too long, you know, for that stim. And he targeted his army. I'm like, was he really looking at that and see the observer? That would be insane. But now SOS is 100% ready, especially once Blink finishes up. Not much that Kira can do here.
Yeah, I think that army target was even just maybe him like flicking through his control groups. And it'll show up that way as well. But you might be right, because he's not even going to attempt. I actually think you are correct, even trying to hide it here. Well, now he's going to have to stim and go for a trade. He needs to react. Okay, there's the stim. Oh, man, doesn't even get a single unit. Not
Everything
even
can
the
be picked off here. I mean, he just gets totally caught out in the middle of the map because of that observer that did see this.
This is actually how beautiful of a game StarCraft is. Everything is on a razor-thin edge. We talk about how much potential this is for damage. The Nexus is available. There's no pylon. SOS's observer comes, what, a minute later? His window is missed, and not only was that potential damage there, it was so powerful, it was scary. It gets totally turned into not a single unit dies for SOS. That entire chunk gets killed. So every second matters in this RTS, and you know, it's further highlighted in that moment. Now with the loss of that army, SOS can be braver and more aggressive.
Look at that micro there from Curie. Saves that one Marauder. Does a bit of damage there to the Stalkers too. We do have this drop coming in.
Oh, right before the
well.
turret. One on the top is finished, but this one doesn't. Just going to use that long distance pickup. Quick reaction there by Cure with those units.
Cure super safe with the build that he chose. You know, he got the third base early, so he's just like, I want to make sure I take no damage to any drops or anything like that. He's got a nice army now at the top of this ramp. The Protoss army is still very sizable, and if he gets a couple of big warp-ins of Adepts here, he definitely could fight that army straight up. So Kira has to be very careful about how he engages here.
+1 and Glaives almost lining up here together. I think the Glaives obviously much more significant with the attack speed buff that it gives. And he's going to commit to this attack.
Oh, there's that warp
spots. This is huge. I think he might just roll over and die. He's going to try to get these SCVs up in the front, but the shade is real. SCVs on top of Stalkers. This is so many Adepts. Look at the sentries trap this army.
Yeah, and the Adepts kind of do get trapped on the other side, but it doesn't matter. The force fields are going to be better here. And that is just way too much Protoss at this point. Losing too much early on in this game was Cure.
Yep. Fast third there. The Glaives line up. Doesn't have much of an answer for this. Wasn't able to keep pressuring. When you leave a Protoss alone to his devices, you don't have drops, and you don't kill the Nexus with that army there, then you die to pushes like this if SOS commits them. This is what he's known for. And that will probably just be lights out here at Save Valdez. I mean, there's no way to survive this.
Liberators, but only Liberators, basically. Not much on the ground.
Even if he can't win the game now, he's done just an ungodly amount of damage. He's warping in Stalkers only. This is the issue with Protoss versus Terran right now, is just having the right ratio of anti-air for the Liberators while having the immense Adept count on the ground. Doesn't commit to the shade. It could have potentially there, but he wants to just play it safe. He has Blink, so he can go into the main here.
He's going to get all the free damage on the right side first and just deny that base, because even though he didn't kill the orbital, Kira is now only mining from 2 bases to the 3 of SOS, and he's just going to get further and further behind. So SOS doesn't even need to kill him here. I think he still can, and he may decide to go for it here. Here he goes.
And there's a Widowmine hit that's pretty money, but it doesn't matter. These Liberators aren't even in Liberation mode immediately here. And, I mean, Liberators do a lot of damage, and they have the perfect positioning, but there's just too much Protoss.
Too much of an advantage at this point. Even the SCVs being pulled, and some Marauders, you know, making it a little bit difficult. But another warping of Adepts. And a 4th base coming up.
It's the ratio, you know? It's like, oh, okay, now I can't win this fight until I get the Adepts in, because Marauders kind of just counter Stalkers. Now the Adepts come in, he can keep fighting. I think he's most worried about the Widowmines now that the Liberators are gone. There's 3 of them on the ground right now. So he waits for a larger army. Could even commit to just 1 shade to kill the Widowmines, but brings the Observer up. Loses it, actually, I believe there, so that's going to be kind of a problem. But he has too much. It just doesn't matter.
In, and even though he gets caught in a weird position on the ramp, Kira is hanging on, man, but it's just a slow, dying Terran at this point. And the Blinken, that's going to do it. SOS going to take game number 1 here in the series up against his teammate Kira. Kira really trying to make this difficult. GG.
GG. There you go. You see the look on Kira's face. Look at the right of your screen. You can see he's like, I know this guy. I know what he does. Got me, though. That group of units at the bottom of the map was not like the game-losing moment for Cure. But when he's trying to do a fast 3CC build, and he loses a little bit of his army even, that could be the tipping point where the counterattack comes across. It's not enough units. And that's the only pressure he can even go for when he goes for the 3rd CC build, because he doesn't have a factory or a starport. He doesn't have, you know, medevacs to drop with. So that's the only pressure he could try to put on. He waited for Stim, which, I mean, obviously Stim makes your units way better. But he didn't really go check to see, like, if he sent one Marine up, maybe he'd been like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
There's no pylons. And it's a new Nexus. It doesn't have very many hit points.
If he hit that Nexus right when he wins, you're exactly right. It's just you go over there, you put on pressure, and if you see the Protoss army come over, it's going to be a lot smaller at that time, too, but you can't really fight it still because you don't have Blink. But maybe you kite, maybe you pick off a sentry and back off, you know, and you keep those units alive because you realize then, oh, I got to send them back home so they don't get picked off. And, yeah, I mean, SOS very cleanly ending that one after getting that early advantage. Very nicely done. We'll see if Pure can come back in the series here, jumping into set number 2 on Frost up against SOS. Here we are on Frost, and down at the bottom right in the blue, he is
Generic Green Wings, SOS.
To translate that chat for you guys, he said he thought the map was Dust Towers.
Yes.
And it's not. No response. So up to the top right in red, the player who wrote that chat, he is known as
Generic Green Wings.
This time they gave me too much time. I just can't say the second player intros today. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dust Towers was the 3rd map that they were set to play on.
I believe so, yeah.
So
maybe just Cure
feeling the pressure there.
Yeah, he's focusing on the game. You know, he didn't quite remember correctly which map it was going to be.
In this tournament, it's actually not illegal to type non-GG characters. It's not the rule set is made by Mr. Che and the GSL and not Kespa, so he's not going to get banned for typing.
No Kespa jail yet for Cure.
Yeah, he's okay. It's all right.
He's still got a chance. We got Pro League Finals coming up.
I know, like that one guy used to watch Pro League and Brood War, and he's like, but he can't say the chat. No, this is the GSL. It's okay.
We make our own rules here.
There are rules against chatting in game, but it's about distraction. You can't like say, "What'd you eat for dinner last night?" Then like drop 4 medevacs into the main. Like you're not allowed to do that.
While he's typing back, it's like, oh, come on.
So, you know, one of the reasons why chatting was banned because Boxer actually used to chat sometimes in games. It throws opponents off. He's like the reason why many things are banned actually in competitive StarCraft, because he would get any edge that he could, which is again why he's the most famous StarCraft player of all time. Not as successful as others, but he made the game, many would argue, into a sport. So, anyway, just some chatting history and stuff. Not the most interesting thing I could ever tell you guys, but we do see a 3-Rex build coming up here for Cure, so a little bit more commitment to pressure this time in the form of Ground Army, as he disrupts the mining with a grenade there.
This probe is going to attempt to get some scouting information, but is going to run into an SCV here, actually.
The Reaper should go back to kill him, and I think
the Adept is on the chase, too.
Well, the Adept also
it's
wants
like
to
a
come up
race
there.
Back to the Terran base.
He wants to pylon this, and he will get it. This is a good position for the pylons. There's no bunker this time. Probe is targeted.
Probe might die here to the Reaper.
This is actually going to be really close. I think he gets the cannons off, though. The Adept is here, so he can't fight the pylons.
Yeah. You see Cure actually already backing off. Cancels one of the pylons.
This is a smart move. I really like this. There's no Mothership core at home, so this Reaper could get a lot of kills. This is actually really sick. Okay, finally the Adept comes out. Good attempt there. The reactor will go down. There's nothing you can do about that. This
Reaper
is great for
gets
SOS.
one kill and then dies, by the way, back at the base. So Nice observer there. Got a good look at what was happening at both locations. Takes out the reactor. Probably will get this one supply depot. Let's see if Kier, though, wants to commit. Gonna force the second overcharge.
Nearly sniping that mothership core. He knows that's too greedy. When this pylon dies, or excuse me, this depot dies, he'll be supply blocked for just a moment. Doesn't matter, won't affect his production cycle, but it's still annoying. We'll have to rebuild those. And the CC he built, he loses mining from. Now, don't forget, guys, Kier went for a 3 racks build, but the crux of this is the first racks has a reactor, so he has a lot of Marines from that, but now that he's lost that, he either has to have stifled production or remake it. If he remakes it, he loses a ton of production time. If he doesn't, he only has half the Marine production he wants, which is what he's doing now, double Marine production, instead of what he could have had otherwise.
Yeah.
He could have had 3 and the Marauder. This hurts how many units he's going to have to pressure and how many units he's going to have coming up when he wants to attack the third base.
I love the early Immortal here from SOS. He got a bit of scouting information, going into the main scene, the other 2 racks, and he's like, oh, okay. I'm going to need this one Immortal out here. I can get the later Warp Prism, and even just the overcharge in the one Immortal should be enough. You see he's actually counterattacking and cutting off reinforcements with just 2 Adepts. Very, very smart play here from SOS.
Okay, this overcharge here, going to buy a lot of time. Once it wears off, he should be able to use this Immortal to defend. A few probes off the line, too. I think this is a great choice. The Immortal hasn't used Barrier either, so there's just no way he can win this fight.
He's committing to it, though. He wants to get the double Stalker here.
Good control on that Marauder. Back at home, he's taking SCV losses. And even if he focused the Immortal Barrier, he'll pop it. He already turned off the autocast. He was saving it.
Oh, boy.
Shade of the Adepts actually into their death.
He should have committed to the SCV kills first.
Yeah.
I guess he was looking somewhere else on the map here.
I think so. I think he was on the chase on these units. Finally gets that last Marauder. One more Immortal shot will kill this. Looks like he's going to kill it with a Stalker. The Immortal too slow. Goes home, and
we
the pressure
had
is
a
held.
Huge gateway explosion back actually at the base of SOS. He's got 6 gates.
Yeah.
And Blink about to finish up. So a warp and 5 Stalkers here too. And this is very cool because he knows he's killed a lot of army units already. And just even, 7-8 Stalkers with Blink with 1 Immortal is going to be enough to fight this small Terran army now.
Oh, and he sees it's out of position. He can cut it off, and that actually will probably end the game here. Kier just doesn't have anything he can do. His army's
Another
cut in
big
half.
warp in, and there you go.
That should just end it. GG. SOS takes the 2-0.
Makes it look really easy, too. It seemed like SOS kind of understood Kier's play a little bit better than Kier understood SOS. And that's sometimes what you get in these team kills as well, where SOS is just like, no, I know this guy inside and out. Like, I know what he eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and midnight snack, and who he talks to on a daily basis. Whereas Kier maybe isn't quite paying as much attention.
I also feel like he went for more gimmick-style openings versus Bjorn, and then Bjorn kind of countered them all. Whereas in this, he did more flexible builds and responded even from game 1 to game 2 what he wanted to do. The lack of bunker, you could see the difference it made there on Frost. He's like, okay, 4-player map. I think I'll be safe here. Not the case, and that cost him big in the early game. Lost his reactor. He would have had probably like 5 or 6 more Marines with his army if that hadn't happened.
Yeah, it's a very big deal. SOS just owning that game from the beginning to the end. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break before we get into Dark versus SOS to end the night.
겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
여름 휴가.
Everyday 냠냠냠냠 요기요.
대결의 룰을 아십니까? 승리한 자는 패배한 자의 트로피를 뺏습니다. 그리고 그의 자존심까지도. 클래시 로얄.
이 인형이 너의 슬픔을 씻어줄 것이다. RPG의 검은 획을 긋다. 크라이.
내 뒤에서 먼지나 먹으시지.
기분 째지는데?
질서와 수호를 위해서라면
마계의 화염이
누구도 나를 막을 순 없어. 방해하겠다면 전부 부숴주지.
나는 KT 기가 인터넷. 당신과 끊김없이 게임을 즐기죠. 어디서나 우린 함께해요. 어때요? 나랑 콜라보 하실래요? 당신의 KT.
친구끼린 역시 배달통. 배달의 힘 배달통.
중요한 것은 언제나 안개에 쌓여 있다. 그저 나아갈 뿐.
메이플 스토리 2 신규 직업 소울 바인더.
오호, 물로 지금 거의 뭐 수분을 그냥 갖다 들이붓는 것 같아요. 자, 바른 쪽과 안 바른 쪽입니다. 차이 보여드릴게요. 내가 발라봤는데 대표는 앞으로 그냥 나도 찍어 발라야 될 것 같아요. 잘 봐요. 자, 이렇게 깔끔하게 아래쪽만 다듬어도 선이 딱 살아있잖아요. 선 라인 자체가. 잠깐만. 이런 느낌이구나. 허허. 오늘 여러 가지 제품들 올리브영에서 제가 지금 제품을 받아서 사용을 해봤는데 굉장히 좋은 것 같아요. 올리브영 제품이 짱인 것 같습니다.
기가 IoT 헬스. 올레 TV 켜고 퍼팅하고 바이크 타고 체지방 체크까지 실감나게 재밌다. 기가 IoT 헬스. 김지원의 KT.
How you star? Every day. 여기요.
네, 아프리카 TV와 함께하는 킹덤 스토리 연애의 신.
이거 사극을 찍는 것 같아요.
정말 안 어울립니다. 약간 왜소하고.
맞아요. 위초고 3국 대결.
장비! 나이스! 나이스!
나 심쿵했어.
17,800원. 와, 군주는 무릎을 꿇을 수 있어요. 아, 뭐야 이거 어떻게 먹은 건데? 저에게는 간호 장비 같은 존재입니다. 진짜 유익한 게임이니까 여러분들 진짜로 많이 해보셨으면 좋겠습니다.
답답할 때 마셔봐요 트로피카나. 상큼상큼 과일 듬뿍 스파클링.
리얼 프루트를 스파클링으로
과즙이 톡톡 쏜다. 트로피카나 스파클링.
스타일 상쾌하면 되는 거야. 상쾌함의 높이가 다르다.
Stylish sparkling water. 롯데 트레비.
메신저의 혁신. 이런 실시간 라이브 움짤 기능은 지금 스노우웹에서밖에 없죠. 굉장히 많은 팬분들이 영상 메시지와 메신저를 보내주고 계십니다. 아프리카 원탑 역캠답게 이설이라고 메시지가 왔는데 길 가다 만나지 마라. 길 가다 만나지 마라고. 느낌 있죠? 리본 하나 찬 다음에 딸랑딸랑 고양이. 섹시합니다. 외쳐 스노우. 라마.
미소가 생기다. 화사함이 생기다. 건강한 하루가 생기다. pH 8.0과 풍부한 미네랄로 핑크빛 생기가 생기다. 아이시스 8.0. 이제 모두 핑크하세요.
Welcome back to the Freak Up Studio for some more GSL. We did just have our first loser, Kira, getting 2-0 by SOS. We are about to go to the final match, SOS versus Dark.
This is the ZVP that I wanted in the winners match. We get it here in the final match as Beyond advances in first place. SOS defeats his teammate. And now the question is, because everyone knows that in the first season of Star League back in our spring season, that he could defeat Protoss players like Stats. He won a finals off of it. But in recent times, his dominant performance has been mostly versus Terrans, where other Zergs are struggling, he succeeds. But now he has to change gears and play a totally different matchup here. Can he do as well versus Protoss as the dominant performances he's shown us already today versus Terran? That is the question, and that answer will be given to us. Here's the map pool.
King Sejong gonna start us off, and then New Gettysburg. Very happy that we get to see that map, and then Dust Towers for set number 3. In my mind, this goes all the way to set 3. I think, you know, even if Dark is slightly favored in some people's minds and he takes a game, SOS he can win on any given day. He goes with a crazy build, Dark doesn't see it, he messes up one thing, all of a sudden we're going to set number 3. This is a best of 3, not a best of 5, no best of 7, nothing crazy like that. And players always, you know, from time to time they come back, they, you know, sometimes take a quick 2-0, you get into your opponent's head, there's not a lot of time in between games. And SOS, I hope he's gathered his mental, Wolf,
yes,
in preparation for going up against, right now, the best Zerg player in the world.
He's going to have to grab his mental and hold on to it.
Yes.
And you guys need to hold on to your seats back at home. This is it. The SSL champion meets BlizzCon defending champion in SOS. Let's jump into game number 1 on King Sejong Station.
2, 1.
Up in the top left, in the blue, the Protoss player, he is
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
Lots of fans here tonight cheering for this player who needs to make it to the finals of this season to have a chance to go to BlizzCon.
And his opponent to the bottom right, the defending SSL champion.
SK Telecom T1, Dark.
In a dark time, no pun intended, for SKT, just narrowly make grand postseason, and they will again play on Sunday versus the Africa Freaks.
This guy came from Busan to watch the GSL. He wants to see great games every time.
Every time.
Thank you. Very polite sign there.
2-Gate. Ooh. 2-Gate Adept. Long time no see. I mean, this is something we used to see as almost standardized in the matchup, but a lot more rare nowadays. I normally see kind of the Gate core, or Gate Nexus core opening. And look at this. This is just the first part.
Should be Oracle follow-up, I think.
Either
especially
that,
because of the placement.
Yeah, either that or like some sort of crazy warp prism that comes out that like helps him do pickups and continue the attack and do warp ins. I think you're on the money, though. I think this is going to be a Stargate. Speaking of money, man, $sign, he will put everything on the line. And a best of 3 determines whether or not, you know, he advances in this turn, but also whether he's going to BlizzCon or not. Because, I mean, if he wins this, he doesn't guarantee a spot for BlizzCon. But like, if he loses, it's all over. Dark is number 1 at 7,200 points. It is the Stargate.
This guy, I mean, he doesn't get nervous anymore. When you play that many high-level games, you know, super high-pressure situations on the biggest stages in the world, multiple times, you kind of get used to it in a way. I don't think he is so. I said it before, you know, in the game 2 against Beyond, where it's like he's so ballsy to go for this crazy build in such an important game. And he just acts like it's, you know, just another day on the block, like it's no big deal at all.
He has these crazy builds, and he shows. I mean, there's no way for him to hide this. Dark Scouts is no next. He's like, what in the world are you doing? What is happening? He's making a lot of lings right now. He's gonna have speed shortly.
Extra Queen too.
Yeah, he's really not sure. He's gonna get Overlord speed now. In fact, the Overlord can just go right into the main base. He doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know. Actually, probably should really send that in there, but he doesn't know what the follow-up is. He has no idea this is here. The Ling's coming in here, so he's not going to send the Overlord. He checks both sides.
He's like, Something is missing. Alert, alert. And what is he going to have for defense? I mean, he's got one queen in the main. That's not enough.
And here it comes. Targets down drones immediately, just going to ignore the queen. SOS known for his Oracle control, man. He in stats. 2 shots to kill. 7 dead. Needs to be careful of the second queen.
That one queen might have been able to get that kill, actually. Either way, it does survive, and a second Oracle on the way.
And don't forget the Adept follow-up is so powerful here. He doesn't have to do it, but, I mean, if he does...
He'll probably be resonating Glaze a little bit later on.
Exactly. So here's the Twilight Council. If he does it and Dark doesn't have Lings, he dies, so Dark has to make a ton of Lings, which means he's not replacing drones. Okay, a little bit of
whoa.
That Oracle control is not as good as the previous one.
Either way, he does like the exact amount of damage to get out with just barely enough health.
Yeah.
In the end, against the Queen and the Spore. It's almost like he's done this before.
Yep. Insta-Glaives probably the second that Twilight Council is done. Show me the money, SOS. There it is. Almost instantaneous as the Twilight finishes up. Dark is going to try to cut this off at the head. He committed to so many Lings. I don't know about those drones. I'm actually not really sure.
23 drones right now.
What is? Why is he?
Okay.
Is it drones in the Overlord? Am I wrong?
No, not this one. There's got to be Lings.
Okay, I thought I saw drones over there. I got really confused. No, it is just straight Lings.
No attacking drones in this game, although a nerd can dream. Here we go. Got to try to do some extra, worker harass of his own.
He knows that. He made so many Lings, and he's never going to break this wall. So this is the way to climb over the wall and go ahead and find some damage. It's not massive damage, but it adds up. A Phoenix going home. I don't think Dark quite realizes where the Stargate is yet. When he knows it's proxy somewhere, okay, now he finds it.
Yeah.
Can unpower this and make this a little bit more like deal-withable. I made up a word.
Yes, deal-withable.
So
learning new words here at the GSL.
We do see this one is kind of shut down
He
here.
runs out of energy. Gonna have to use the overcharge in the probes. Didn't take too much damage overall.
This Overlord will get shut down. The Droverlord will get shut down. And SOS is looking for that Glaives push. 13 seconds to go. Making a Spine, a Baneling Nest. It's all too late. The Queens are going to have to try to buy time for those the Spine to finish. The Baneling Nest, I think, is just a pipe dream. This game is going to end before that's ready.
The only thing about this is that he doesn't have a Warp Prism with this build, obviously. So he's only got Adepts. Really nice place here, though, and the Oracle coming over to help out.
Yep, and the second Oracle coming in here as well. It's just, you can't get the surface area. These have attack speed, and all the Lings are dead before the Spine finishes. Here's the reinforcement. It's slow. That's annoying to deal with at home, but he does have the Overcharge. Tries to replace the Spine. The first one is canceled. Overcharge kills this, and SOS wins the game.
Pretty much. There you go. The Adept follow-up after doing a ton of damage with the Oracles. You can see all of this does get cleaned up, may even lose an Overlord, but Dark, he's got 3 bases, but he can barely mine from 1 as these Adepts wreak havoc in the main. He's going to try to use some Banelings here.
Yeah, I mean, desperation. Desperate times call for desperate measures, as they say. He's going to try to time the Banelings with the Shades, but guess what? He just doesn't shade, and then the Banelings don't do anything there.
Continues to deny mining and do damage in the main.
Third base as well. And
yeah. Hatchery's going to go down. There's no way to defend that.
Dark
He's going to try.
He just can't come to terms. The Shades go 2 different directions. He's like really testing him here. He's going to lose his Hatch, I believe.
Transfuse is coming down, and the Banelings rolling through.
Oh, he's not as good at target firing as Byun is.
Good position there as well to get in between the minerals. Some Lings coming up here, and one lone Baneling is going to help out in clearing this all up, and he does eventually clear it all up, but at the same time, third base is finishing here for SOS, and he has a great economy. GG. Dark's like, oh, just give it a shot, try to defend first, and there, then I'll GG out.
Yep, that was very well played. SOS, he takes another kind of another game out of a bag of tricks he has. Remember SOS, I think he reverse all killed KT earlier this year, and that was the moment where I thought to myself, I remember that, going, SOS as a player, he does these kind of best off, these one-offs. Can he do it 4 times? Does he have 4 different builds?
And he did.
He is the player he's the only one who could do this. You know, you look at this as a fan and you go, okay, he cheesed this one time. He has this one sneaky build. He has this other proxy. How many of these does he really have? Can he get out of a GSL group with this?
It's like Mary Poppins, man. He's pulling builds out of his never-ending bag of tricks.
He pulled a Stargate, man, right out of that handbag, dude.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Dark didn't see it coming.
New Gettysburg is going to be the map for game number 2. We've seen a lot of great games on this map here. Dark looks great on this map as well against TY, but this is a different matchup. Let's see if SOS can close it out, or if Dark is going to come back in the series, try to tie it up on New Gettysburg. Down here in the bottom left, in the blue.
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
He's on match point. And he could eliminate the SSL champion, who's in the round of 4 of the current SSL season. His opponent, the player in the red, he is
SK Telecom T1, Dark.
Fangirls came out of the woodwork, screamed the cheer, and then ran away.
we watched
Saw
it
that happen in front of us, yeah. It's kind of funny.
Well, I mean, guys, this is intense, okay? SOS could knock out the champion of Spring Star League, basically, I mean, the guy who's already in round of 4, a big favorite to go straight to the finals back-to-back in SSL. You could knock him out right here, right now. He has match point off of a very aggressive, almost a cheese build. Now he's got the hatch block. He's got the momentum massively in his favor right now.
So annoying for Dark to deal with this. I mean, all you have to do as a Protoss is send the probe over early. You lose some of your own mining, but you force the Zerg to go pool first, more importantly. And, you know, they have to go into the speed. It's quite annoying. They have to deal with your probe on the side of the map. Probe can't really die to only drones as well, so it gets another full Scott. He's like, okay, just want to make sure you're not doing anything absolutely insane. And you can just go home and begin mining as well.
Yeah, it's kind of always been standard on 2-player maps to at least threaten this. Sometimes you see players commit to a pylon and then a cyber core to further delay it.
Zess was doing that for a while, being really annoying.
So the Zerg player is going to send these lings across the bridge. The bridge on New Gettysburg is a point of, you know, it's a faster path, but it's a riskier path. It's such a well-designed map. We see island maps islands taken on this map rarely, but sometimes, you know, in the case of Zest versus Tasia, can win you the game.
Yeah.
It allows for crazy games that don't happen on normal maps.
Yeah, it's a crazy map, but it's still very standard, you know? It's got like crazy elements, and just the way that it works out kind of lends itself to sometimes, you know, having these awesome, crazy games. But it's no Arena, you know?
Yeah, it's a little bit more...
It's like Arena done better, almost.
Yeah, it's Arena got patched and flipped this side. The island got ripped into 2. But the cool thing about this map, too, is the bridge allows for early game plays to be amazing. It gives you one of the... Actually, I think it is the shortest rush distance in the map pool right now.
Natural to
bridge.
natural, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's shortest nat to nat. But when you go into the late game, you have to take the long path, because any defender on the other side of the bridge will wreck you if you try to take that fight. So then we go into late game where the 3rd base is easy to take. The 4th is fairly easy as well. You have a defensible 4th in the middle of the map. And we go into like these awesome games. We see Tempest, Carriers, islands get taken. It's a really fun map. And what I'm hoping to see is one of those longer games here. We'll see, though. Dark, like Sue, his teammate on this map, likes to be aggressive early and use that bridge. SOS, he's pulled another build out of his hat, and it's the Dark Shrine.
The DT drop, to be more, you know, precise, and it's like, it's a really good build for the map. You know, you just go straight main to main is also very short by air. The thing is Dark going to scout this with the Overlord speed that he got here?
He will. I mean, this is why he goes Overlord speed. He will not be caught off guard. The Stalker's a little bit late here. Sees it, and you know, to Dark's credit, this is kind of why these builds are less common. And SOS thought he could really pull the wool over his eye. It's not going to happen. The Warp Prism is on the way.
I guess he will.
Yeah, he will. He kind of has to. He has to try to hope for maybe he can make some Archons, do some Archon drops or something later. Lair is on the way. Spore is on the way. Not even too soon. Careful play by Dark. Not even overcompensating for what's happened here. And this should do little damage. What he can do with the Dark Shrine later is harass when, you know, with like a run by or a drop later. He can maybe try to snipe some tech. Can try to deny a 4th base drone or something. This is not used